everyone, this is Delbert, Nancy, and Buddy. We are on our way to Pismo Beach. We've had an absolutely wonderful time in Bakersfield. Got to visit my uncle and my aunt. It was my aunt's birthday. Had a barbecue. Just had a wonderful time. Spaghetti dinner, that was delicious. We'll take you along the ride. We're just going to go across some farm road between Bakersfield and Pismo Beach. And hopefully we see some sights. We're total lakes out there somewhere. We'll see if we can get some pictures of it. Heading down the 99, looking for California 166. 124 miles for today's ride. We got about a half a mile until we get to California 166. Looks like it heads over to Maricopa and Santa Maria. Going through this little agricultural section here. Farmlands as far as I can see off to the left.
Take exit 3 on right to California 166, then keep left.
You'd think that the planting season's over. Maybe they're just preparing the dirt for next season.
In 0.1 miles, keep left on California 166.
Careful, buddy.
Keep left on California 166.
Interesting. What does it want me to do?
Left.
Continue 100 miles.
Straight.
Yeah, it's not left.
Well, there's a split there. Do you go left or right on the split?
I know. That was interesting. There's some more planting straight ahead.
Everybody gets to figure that out.
Maybe that's almond trees. No, I don't know what that is. Grapes, maybe? And a whole bunch more land over here, all graded down, ready for planting. We have 100 miles on this road, folks. Going through some mountains. Oh my gosh, I just climbed one of the steepest hills I've ever went up. Just put it in second gear and motored it right on up the hill, but oh my gosh, I didn't think there was any mountains in this road. As you can see, I was wrong.
The winner.
Yeah, it's pretty out there.
For unbeatable comfort and value, you can count on Wrangler. Real comfortable jeans. 43 cars lined up behind the pace vehicles, doing a couple of pace laps already. Just a couple more when we drop the green and start today's running off the Tums Fast 500. Let's pause and start spring.
We get to listen to the NASCAR race as we travel for another 81 miles across Central California. Give you a little view of what we're seeing.
If you're on the asphalt, you're already in trouble because the low lanes are by far the fastest way around this Martinsville half mile. You've got a good handling race car
these mountains.
Their purpose is to help those interested in running for public office understand the issues facing our region. Evening classes are taught by business and community leaders and elected officials. It is the most interesting, politically savvy instruction available. For more information, visit sjpoliticalacademy.com. Thank you.
NASCAR on 940 Kyle, brought to you in part by Good Guys Tires.
Today's broadcast of the Tom's Fast Rally 500 on the Motor Racing Network is brought to you in part by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. By Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Got about 24 miles more of this road here, and then we get on the 101 and 40 miles till we get to our campground.
Join the fight to end senior hunger and drive to end laps on the scoreboard. Second place on back, it's warming up back there.
AJ Allmendinger just took the runner-up spot from his Richard Petty Motorsports teammate Marcus Ambrose. Ambrose still trapped in the outside lane as one Pablo Montoya comes to call.
A few moments. Remember in the pre-race we talked to Marcus and he said,
How are we going to get over that hill?
Here at Martinsville, he said, I've had a couple of times.
So we're going to go around the left here.
Really worked out well, but a few other times when it's not been so good and I don't know what to expect. Well, this is probably the last thing he expected. Yeah. Anyway.
Colonel, to the front brakes to keep those brakes full. We talk all the time at Martinsville how important the brakes are. If you can't get cold air on them to keep them full, then you're not going to have brakes and you're not going to leave this race very much longer. But right now, some serious damage control going on right now with this race car.
It's lap 110 here at Martinsville Speedway in time to celebrate 110 years of Ford racing. Our highest running Ford, AJ Allmendinger, on the motorracingnetwork.com/Ford and enter AJ's name to enter your chance to win a trip to Ford Championship Weekend.
I just think that sounded like Montoya. He was just guarding the bottom against Hamlin.
Montoya's got the 5th spot. Hamlin lined up behind him in 6th, and Tony Stewart 7th. They're side by side for 8th. That's where the pole sitter, Carl Edwards,
Each by 7 car later.
and the most recent flare-up, maybe on Pablo Montoya and Paul Menard. Menard trying to make a move by Juan Pablo, and when I saw Juan Pablo about to put a lap on Marcus Ambrose, I thought maybe Marcus might take a jump at him, but he didn't. Paul beat him to it, and Paul's been leaning on Pablo's bumper for the last several laps. That's cooled down for a few moments right now, but they are stacking up behind that battle as they work back to turn 1.
It's Montoya and Menard. Then Mark.
Well, they have settled down just a little bit here in Martinsville this afternoon. 131 laps in the race. Kyle Busch, Greg
Guys,
Cole,
pass me
Jimmy
on
Johnson,
these.
AJ Allmendinger, and Kevin Harvick are the top 5. Why don't we take a swing down pit road right now and check on some developing stories brought to you by Mechanics Wear Gloves. Get your Mechanics Wear Gloves at Walmart, Lowe's, AutoZone, and many other great retailers nationwide. Or at mechanics.com. Mechanics Wear, the tool that fits like a glove.
He'd waited forever to get by. The previous truck that passed us passed him and I at the same time.
One of the guys who had a spin early on, David Rudiman, after starting 28th spun with his teammate, Mark Truex Jr. He's up to the 14th position. Kurt Busch has been 4th of time. He had some damage. He spun with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Then he had some damage. Another accident. Got back up towards the front now after that last pit stop where they were trying to tighten the machine up and also repair some of the damage. With a bullet on 66, this one is a call was very good with 4 tires. The local racing fuel back up on
101.
We're about 12-15 miles from our campground. We're now on the 101 heading north. And we've had a pretty good ride for the day.
Next weekend, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
$65 ticket, you get an amazing night complete with dinner, endless wine, big band dancing, a cigar lounge, and the biggest silent auction you've ever seen. So add the Red Heart Balls to your calendar.
By Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, after getting by Denny Hamlin, is closing in a little bit of ground, but it's taken him some time. That's a big gap from first to second. Again, Denny runs in third. Kevin Harvick is in fourth. Then it is Ryan Newman that is his fourth, and Matt Trackey stretched that lead to 2.5 seconds now over Jimmy Johnson. So Kyle looking really strong here this afternoon, but we're not even at the halfway point, so a lot can happen later on this afternoon.
You come to this racetrack, there'll always be a couple of 100-lap segments where some driver will just get it hooked up and you think you're going to lap.
Jeff Gordon, we expect to see here at our
We're making our way to Pismo Beach. Got about 2.5 miles yet.
We've seen that so many times in this racetrack. What was it, a few years ago when he was locked up in the championship battle, Jeff was here at
There's
this
the
racetrack.
Walmart.
Our last race of the season.
We went to that Walmart.